So this is the Commencal Meta 29, and boy, does this look slick. When you see it in real life, colours absolutely pop, and the spec is pretty insane as well. With the Fox Factory 38 with a Grip 2 damper, which is amazing, by the way. It doesn't feel quite as harsh to me as the 36, the previous gen 36 I used. So the Fox 38 with a Grip 2 is absolutely superb. It's got the Fox X2 factory shock on it as well, 29er DT Swiss wheels, and Magic Mary at the front, and the new Big Betty at the back, and the Fox Kashima dropper. For me, this is a bike that as soon as I saw it, I was like, that looks like a stunner. It looks like a really great bike, good spec. Geometry looks pretty awesome for trail and enduro riding. I'm a big fan of 29er wheels as well. So superbly capable electric mountain bike, updated with the new Shimano EP8 motor. Shimano XT brakes, XT shifter. Absolutely beautiful looking bike. Sadly, I can't ride it because it's too small. It's a large. I did sit on it, have a brief ride around, but it just didn't feel comfortable to me. I'd love to try it in a bigger size. Linkage all looks really beefy as well. Tubes look good. Chainstay, seat stay looks nice and chunky. XT cassette, XT rear mech. Charging port just on the top. There you go, boom, right there. The battery is just on this plate here. And then the motor just tightly integrated in there. Look at that, isn't that a banging looking bike? DT Swiss wheels, 29 front and rear. Sweet, sweet Commencal Meta 2021. 2021 orange phase looks absolutely beastly. Like, looks like an absolute shredder. Orange have got the very distinctive look, haven't they, with the chiseled, angular, straight kind of lines and the curvy chainstay, but it looks beefy. And this is a large, it's a big large, it's really long, pretty slack. I could ride this at 6'3". It feels like it's capable, like seriously capable. I'd love to do a proper test of this. Fox 36 factory, X2 shock, single pivot on the rear, which a lot of people absolutely love. 29er on the front, 27.5 on the rear, and a bike that looks absolutely brutal. Again, it's one of those that see it in the pictures and it's kind of like a Marmite bike, but everyone here loves the look of it when you see it in real life, and I bet it rides beautifully. If you want to send it down some steep chutes, tracks, enduro style riding, yeah, this bike looks like an absolute beast. We'll have a look around the bike. There's one thing I probably should mention. The battery cannot be charged on the bike. You have to take the battery out. So you need a 4mm Allen key to remove the battery each time you want to charge it. It's a bit disappointing. So just something to think about. An extra faff when you need to charge the bike. XT group set, XT brakes, XT drivetrain, Renthal bars. Something that looks pretty aggressive is the way that the motor sticks out the bottom. But they've got these chunky skid plates on to protect the motor. Potential for knocking into things, I don't know, maybe not, I'm sure they've tested it, but it kind of sticks out the bottom. It's not like the most elegant of designs, but everyone that's ridden it said it's an absolute beast in a good way. Stands, flow wheels, Maxxis Minion DHF and DHR2. Kashima dropper. Yeah, I'm a fan of it. I am, really am. And we'll take a look at the white one, the Surge as well, in a bit. Here we go. Other angle. There's a lot going on there, isn't there? But you could absolutely send. Look how slack it is. I'll just come around here. You can see how slack it is and how long it is for a large. Sweet. Liking that a lot. Here we got the Focus Jam Squared 9.9 with the smaller internal battery that Focus do on their Shimano based bikes, with the option of getting the range extender, the tech pack. I believe you get it with the bike. It, to me, I haven't weighed it, I haven't weighed any of the other bikes, but feels like one of the lightest EP8 bikes. Obviously they're saving a massive amount of weight with the battery at a smaller size. Most of them come with a 630, but Focus are using the smaller. It's around 370 watt hours. Beautiful lines on it. Like one of the most attractive e-mountain bikes on the market, I think. It just looks so sleek and slender. Beautifully formed carbon front triangle. And it looks like an elegant, sophisticated e-bike. Loving the look. Tan tyres. With the Maxxis Recons, not the biggest fan of those tyres for like harder, aggressive trail and enduro riding, but the Tamil pops, makes the bike look not so like super stealth black. It just looks like a classy black, and Tamil tyres make it pop on the colour. Suspension is a Fox Rhythm 36 on the fork on the front, and the Fox DPS on the back. The Rhythm is actually a pretty decent fork. It's got the Grip 1 damper, which I really like. And those new neat Shimano controllers, just got a little bit more of a recess in, can you see? Just makes it a little bit more tactile. It's a little bit chunkier looking. It's not quite as low profile as the E7000. I think I prefer the look of the E7000. This one's a little bit chunkier, but really nitpicking there, but absolute beautiful looking bike. I must say, when you put the range extender on, it does drastically change the weight distribution because it goes onto the frame. So you're increasing the center of gravity in terms of the weight distribution. But if you want to go for big rides, there's an option there with that extender. So this is the 2021 Orange Surge. I've never seen this bike in the flesh, and in the pictures I didn't like it, but now I've seen it, I quite like the look. Obviously it's got one of those very, very striking orange looks, very chiseled, like angular frame, and the swing arm is just like totally unique. It's obviously an orange. As soon as you see it, it is just striking, but in amongst all of the bikes here, this one really stands out. Colorway looks good, Fox factory, Kashima coated, fork, shock, dropper, Shimano EP8 motor, XT brakes, race face dropper, Renthal bars, Fox factory 36 fork, Stan's ZTR flow wheels. It looks quite neat with that bash plate built in. It's like a skid plate, moto style. What's cool about coming to these type of events is you get to see brands that you've never seen before. This is by a German brand, it's called Stevens. Full carbon front triangle, carbon rear triangle, Fox 36 performance, 29 at the front, 27.5 at the rear. So here we go, pretty standard, pretty high stack on there. Handlebars are well high. Decent tyres, Magic Mary on the front and Eddy Current on the rear. Fox DPS shock. Little like bash plate, skid plate on there. Merida E160. This is the top of the range 10K. And I've got to say, the paintwork and fit and finish on this bike look absolutely exquisite. I have done a full video on this bike, but not this spec. I went for the kind of entry-level carbon one. But when you get it with these Fox factory components, dropper, wireless dropper, carbon wheels from DT Swiss, it looks absolutely stunning. See what I mean about this paint? It's got this like flick in it, this paint flick that is very similar, I've got to say, to the Specialized Levo in the S-Works model. It's like a similar kind of flick, but actually this color looks super nice. These thermogate vents at the front, and then Shimano XTR kit, XTR brakes, the neat little Lizine integrated light on this. Fox Factory 38, and then we've got the Fox X2 shock and carbon wheel set, SRAM wireless dropper, XTR gears. Would have been nice to see wireless from SRAM, but as they're a partner with Shimano, kind of no surprise that they use an XTR kit, but it looks so good, so good. Maybe one of the nicest looking EP8 base bikes. Absolutely stunning, but massive price. 2021 Husqvarna. Pretty loud in terms of the color scheme, but again, when you see them in pictures, I was like, it's all right, but when you see it out in the flesh, looks pretty banging. Like massive contrast between the graphics, pretty big and bold. Fox 38, DT Swiss wheels, Fox shock, pretty beefy looking linkage on there as well. It's got some bits that you don't typically see, like these gear speed indicators. I'm not too keen on those, but I guess some people are. Little on button on the top, pretty chunky down tube. Battery just integrated just straight under here, and a little charging port. An interesting kind of rear suspension design, like an A-frame. Check this out. So the shock goes through the seat stay, the seat tube, and it looks pretty striking. It's like that A-frame design that you see on some bikes. Not a huge amount that use this kind of linkage, so that looks pretty cool. XT mech, I think that is I don't know, I think that's just a basic cassette, Shimano cassette. Decent DT Swiss wheels, decent tyres, DHR and DHF. And again, this bike is one of a few that use these kind of custom bash plates, custom skid plates that they've built just to protect the bottom of the motor. And you can see there's still space, a little bit of space under there for airflow. So it's not too enclosed, you can see there's a gap under there. So it's just going to give that motor some protection. Nice and neat. Yeah, looks pretty beastly. There we go. Husqvarna Hardcross. So Storck, another German brand. Again, Fox 38 on the front. Loads of bikes using the Fox 38 for 2021 on an e-bike. Seems a really popular fork. Definitely carbon front triangle. Kind of big, boxy frame. Interesting grips. Shimano XT, brakes, shifter. Looks like it's got, yeah, carbon rear triangle and linkage. Fox X2, EP8's like really tightly integrated into this one. 27.5 wheels, pretty stealthy, like really stealthy. Neat looking e-bike from the German brand. DT Swiss carbon rims as well. Some of them look absolutely beautiful, like absolutely stunning. You know, when you see them in the pictures, you're like, yeah, look all right. And then when you see them in this kind of light, they just absolutely pop. They're beautiful. So I just wanted to give you an update on the motor. Sadly, it's been delayed into the bike manufacturers. So all the bikes are going to be delayed. Shimano are saying it's going to be released by the end of this year. So hopefully that's going to be sooner rather than later, but we don't know. Obviously, when they make a change to the production line, everything will have a knock-on effect. The reason for the delay is that it failed one of these tests that the industry used to stress test the frames when the motor is mounted into the frame. There's a specific ISO or ISO test that it's failed, and that is related to fatigue when pedaling, when the motor is in a frame. Shimano say they want to get it absolutely right, as you'd expect with a new product, and they're going to retool their production line, and that's going to add some delays to these motors getting out to the brands, and then obviously they need to assemble them, get them out onto the market and into the stores. Now, we also spoke about the clattering noise that you can hear. It's on all of the bikes here, by the way. It's not unique to that Merida that I reviewed. It's on all of the bikes. Some are a little bit louder than others, depending on the placement of the motor and the frame material. Spoke to the Shimano team about this, and they're saying that alongside that retooling change so it passes those tests, they're going to attempt to change some of the tolerances of the gear inside. So they're going to try and minimize that noise that you can hear. So all being well, we should see a motor that's going to pass the test and is slightly quieter. They can't guarantee it. It's definitely not going to be silent, and if it's not done on that production line change, they say they always make running changes like loads of manufacturers and all kinds of different industries do, and it may be something they'll look at in the future, but they are aware of it, which is good. They've acknowledged it, which is good, and they want to make it better.